Hi, this is Bill with Dine Drink Vegas. It is January of 2023, and I'm here inside Scotch 80 Prime in the Palms. It's an Asian-influenced steakhouse, and what I'd like to do real quick is take you on a walkthrough of the space. On this channel, we never make you watch us eat, so after the walkthrough, what I'll do is come back and talk about what I enjoyed and then show you some still pictures. As you come into the restaurant, there's a big wine cave, and I enjoyed a lot of the selections were on the which were on the wine list. I wound up getting a cocktail because I'm dining by myself, and all of the wines seem to be by the bottle. To my right, there's a large room where if you're going to meet with a private group, you could do it. It's a Tuesday night, so the restaurant's not particularly busy. I still make reservations most of the time, and the highlight of this place is the bar. They have every liquor I can imagine, including most of the Pappy Van Winkles, which is impressive because their specialty is Scotch, but they still do a very, very good job with bourbons. Let's go take a look real quick inside the private meeting room, which I'm sure is available to reserve. And then you've got another much larger dining room back here. It's an active space. And what I want to do is show you just a little bit because they just brought me my cocktail as well as the bread. So I want to sit down and show you that. So I was able to request any cocktail I wanted. I like to get my martinis with an orange twist, and they were able to do that. And here is my appetizer.
And is this is a amuse-bouche. Compliments of the chef. It's going to be an oxtail tartlet with pickled green papaya and little micro cilantro.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. So, folks, what I'm going to do is get started and enjoy this, and I will come back later on and tell you how it all was. Hey, so I'm back in my room at the Palms. I wanted to do a hot take on the meal while I still have everything fresh. I thought about doing this in the restaurant, but it was kind of loud, and frankly, there was a lot of copyrighted music going on, so I figured this would be a good way to do it. It was a really good meal, and I would absolutely do it again. I'm not sure, though, it joins the ranks of my very favorite steakhouses in Vegas. So let's start with that course that you saw them presenting me as I was sitting down, the amuse-bouche that I didn't know was coming. That was actually really good, and that may have been the best thing I ate, and there was a nice level of spiciness to it. That was a great thing, although a fairly large amuse-bouche full of beef rib right before I went to a large steak, I don't know, I mean, that sat a little heavy. It was delicious, but it was a lot. I got the tiradito as the appetizer, the 3 different kinds of sashimi, and that was very good. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed the amuse-bouche, but that was excellent, and I would absolutely do it again. As for the steak, the rib cap is my favorite cut of steak that there is. It was very, very good, but why is it so hard for places to put salt and pepper on their steaks? Maybe a little bit of garlic. And they brought some sea salt out with it, and it was really important to them to tell me that it was English sea salt. Cool, right? Apparently England has lovely sea salt, but I would have rather it had been baked into the steak. And they clearly seared it to a way where the outside was almost a little bit burnt, while the inside was a little bit less done than I would have preferred. Now, it was an excellent cut of meat. I still enjoyed my steak, but it was a small technical thing which prevented me from enjoying it as much as perhaps I probably normally would have. Now, the garlic and scallion dipping sauce that I got it with, that was fantastic, and the steak itself came with a side of like an onion compote that was great, and I would absolutely want to do that again. For my side, I got the lobster fried rice. It was probably a little misnamed because there wasn't a huge amount of lobster with it, but I'd order that again. Just the rice with the lapsang souchong sausage and the other vegetables in it. Like, that was a great side order, and that was kind of inventive, and that was a new thing. There was no way I was going to order dessert, so I wound up getting a port. I was a little disappointed in the cognac selection, but the ports were very good and all that. The service was very good, although there were a couple of kind of long gaps, and I get it. I was dining by myself. That wasn't an optimal thing. And I don't want to make this meal sound worse than it was because it wasn't, right? Like $58 for an 8-ounce cut of a premier rib cap, that's a great deal by Vegas standards, and it was an excellent piece of meat. A lot of the stuff which came with the meal, particularly the earlier courses, was very, very good. And I valued the fact that they were able to do the cocktail I wanted the way I wanted, right? That they were able to do the martini with the orange twist, and I got to call the vodka, and they didn't even blink an eye. So it was a good meal. It was a very good meal. It just wasn't one of the very best steakhouses in Vegas. I'm not sure that I go out of my way to do it. So I'm going to sign off for now, but what I'm going to do is come back with some still pictures so you can see some of the things that I ate. And ultimately what we do with this channel is we want to give you the information to decide for yourself. So I'm going to show you those pictures so you can see how it fits in for you and talk about a little bit about what each course was like. So if you've watched this channel for any length of time, you already know that I started this meal with a cocktail. If you haven't watched this channel long, I hope you'll go back and watch some of our other videos of steakhouses and buffets and rooms and places to stay. But I started it with a cocktail, and you can see here the menu, or one of the pages of the menu, they had a lot of interesting drinks. They had, as you can see from the earlier picture, a gorgeous bar with a lot of options. But I felt like something classic, so I just got a vodka martini. I got a Belvedere martini with an orange twist. The slight modification wasn't a problem. The waiter was able to talk to me knowledgeably about what he had. It was really good service from a really good bar, and it was a great way to start my meal. Very quickly after I sat down, they brought me some bread in this pan here. The bread was fresh, it tasted great, it was made in-house, there were little flakes of salt on top of it. The butter was at the right temperature to spread, so my meal got off to a great start. And you saw this on the live part of the video, but they brought me an amuse-bouche that I wasn't expecting. And the picture here doesn't adequately show the scale of it, but that short rib tartlet was big. Like, it was the biggest snack course I think I've ever had. And with all of the vegetables they put on top, it tasted great. And I don't know that that wasn't my favorite part of the meal. I liked it. I'm glad they brought it. It just sat kind of heavy before the rest of everything came. For an actual proper appetizer, I ordered the Rainbow Tiradito, and had I known that the amuse-bouche was coming, I don't know that I would have gotten it, but I'm glad that I did. There were 3 different kinds of sashimi. It tasted good. And I think my favorite part about this was the presentation. It looked beautiful. I like it when a restaurant puts some thought and some care into that because, I mean, the visual part is an important part of the meal, and I really enjoyed that. It was a beautiful course of food that it tasted great. For my entree, I got the rib cap. It was a good kind of meat, and it was at a pretty reasonable price. It just, like I talked about earlier, the cooking was uneven. Now, it came with an onion compote, and the onion compote was good. It may have actually been better than the steak, and it was, again, a nice visual element, but the steak overall was a little bit underwhelming. I ordered a sauce with it, and it should tell you something. I'm not completely sure what sauce this was. I think it was the scallion and black garlic sauce. I know I liked it. I know it was fine, but there's nothing about the sauce itself that really stood out to me. On the side, I got some lobster fried rice, and this isn't a paper presentation. This is in a regular china bowl. It was gorgeous. It looked pretty. It tasted very good. I'm glad I got it. I would absolutely get it again. There just wasn't a giant amount of lobster involved. And again, that's not a knock on it. It's something that I enjoyed very much. It just, whatever. You say lobster fried rice, I guess I'm expecting a little bit more lobster in it. And it was only $22, right? So I shouldn't have expected a huge amount. It was good, but not great. I did enjoy the lapsang souchong sausage that they put in there. That was probably a highlight. By the time it came time for dessert, there was no possible way I was putting more food in me, so I got a port, and it was a very small pour of a port, but it was good, and it was a nice finish to my meal. So, overall, what did I think about Scotch 80 Prime at the Palms? I liked it, and I would be delighted to eat there again if some of my friends were going. It might very, very well be the place that I went to if I was staying at the Palms, which overall was a fantastic hotel. I've got some other videos coming out of the hotel. In terms of a destination steakhouse that I seek out, I don't know that it was. I ate at a couple other steakhouses on this trip. Jean-Georges was a particular hit. I've been to some places downtown that I really enjoyed. Oscar's is probably my favorite steakhouse in Vegas. It's in the plaza downtown. And please don't take that as a knock on this restaurant. It was good. It just wasn't in the first rank of my favorite steakhouses in Vegas. I hope this video has been helpful to you. What we try to do at Dine Drink Vegas is bring you short and focused videos to give you the information that you need to plan your next trip to Vegas. We would really appreciate your support for the channel. Please click like and subscribe and tell your friends about who we are and what we do. We also love to interact with our viewers, so leave a comment in the comments section below. Ask us any questions about this experience or tell us what your favorite steakhouse is in Las Vegas. Thanks so much and happy travels!